Hello and welcome back to Shakesyear. We are working on Love's Labour's Lost and we only have about 5 more monologues in this play, which is, we're getting towards the end and then we'll get into the next one, which is always super fun. But anyway, we have to wrap this one up. So the men are in love with the women are in love with the men. They were just watching a play of the 9 worthies and things seem to be sort of wrapping up. The women are still kind of giving the men a hard time, but they've also kind of sort of maybe forgiven them for pretending that they were Russians, all that sort of thing. And everybody's just been having a grand old time laughing at this play of the 9 worthies because it's pretty bad. And then a messenger comes in and says, sorry to interrupt, princess, your dad is dead. And she's like, oh crap. And we have to leave. Everybody, she tells them to get the horses together because everybody wants to leave. And the king, who has just gotten there, who has just maybe kind of sort of started to win her, is like, wait, no, stay. And she's like, no, I really have to go. My dad just died. I really have to go. And King Ferdinand says, the extreme parts of time extremely forms all causes to the purpose of his speed, and often at his very loose decides that which long process could not arbitrate. And though the mourning brow of progeny forbid the smiling courtesy of love, the holy suit, which fain it would convince, yet since love's argument was first on foot, let not the cloud of sorrow justle it from what it purposed, since to wail friends lost is not by so much wholesome profitable as to rejoice at friends but newly found. And if you're saying, what? That's totally appropriate because that's basically how the princess responds. She says, I don't understand a word that you just said. I'm super crazy sad because my dad just died. So tomorrow's monologue is Baron basically explaining what King Ferdinand just said here. But because I like to explain things, and that's this whole point of this whole Shakesyear thing, what King Ferdinand is saying here is that she needs to take a second and think about this, because now that she is in this extreme emotional state of grief for her father, now she's making decisions which, if she had taken more time to consider them, she might decide otherwise than what her gut is telling her to do right now. And he's like, we actually just kind of sort of maybe decided to get married like right before we found out that your dad died. So maybe we should be happy about that and continue along that path first, since that was the first feeling that happened here, because it's so much more fun to celebrate new unions than to mourn the loss of someone. So it's a little bit self-serving of him to say this to her, and maybe a little bit untactful or something. I mean, see, her dad just died, and he's like, let's focus on getting married instead, which is maybe not the best response, but he's King Ferdinand, and he's been through a lot to try to win his prize. But as we all know, women are not prizes to be won. Baron is going to decipher all of this for the ladies tomorrow in a way that hopefully will make sense to them, since the king is not in great command of his articulation at this moment. So tomorrow we'll see how Baron tries to spin the whole thing around and maybe be a little more sensitive of the fact that the princess's dad just died. Like, and seriously, this far from the end of the play, it's like a romantic comedy. This far from the end of the play, all of a sudden, her dad dies? What? All right, I'll see you tomorrow for more.